Hello, everyone. Today I'm joined by Dedrek Sanders. Dedrek, how we doing today?
We're doing good, man. Doing good, man. Can't complain.
Good. Love to hear that. Love to hear that. So, you got a big fight announcement coming up, man. April 6th, Luis Pena, former UFC fighter, pretty big name. He was on The Ultimate Fighter and everything. Just talk
Yeah.
to me about that matchup a bit. How did this kind of come together?
Um. Yeah, that's who they wanted me to fight. I was supposed to fight him, maybe a couple months ago, but I guess something happened, so they rescheduled it. So now I'm fighting him April 6th.
Okay. So I know you fought a couple former UFC, former Bellator guys throughout your career. Does it make like a difference when you fight one of these guys? Does it make it maybe more important to like kind of get a big impressive win here and kind of show that you can beat these guys who used to be in the UFC impressively?
Um. Yeah, I think so, man. Just because they've already been there, so um, I think so.
Okay.
It will be a good name on my resume.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I mean, I'm pretty sure he won the tough season and he was a pretty big name back, in the UFC and everything. I know he still had some pretty big fights outside of the UFC, and I feel like this
Yeah.
kind of keeps up with, the trend of him having some pretty big fights for sure.
Right.
hmm
Yeah, I didn't know he won it. I didn't know that.
I'm pretty
He
sure he
won it.
did. I'm pretty sure he did. They called him Violent Bob Ross, and there was a lot of hype
I do
around
remember
him.
that. I would pop Ross.
Yeah. So you've trained out of Nashville MMA. I wanted to ask, who are some of your coaches out there? I know I saw Ronnie Lawrence coaches there, and just a couple other former UFC guys are at the gym. I wanted to ask who coaches you and who or some guys you train with.
Um, yeah, so yeah, Ronnie's there. He's one of the coaches. Also, Dustin Ortiz is the head MMA coach up there. And our jiu-jitsu coach, BT Brian Tidwell,
Okay.
does all the jiu-jitsu stuff. We got the strength and conditioning coach Tim, and that's the whole team right there
Got you. Got
making
you.
it happen. And I guess who do I train with? I train with a couple guys. Andrew Stewart, uh, just turned pro. Rashad Lockhart, uh, Nolan, a couple guys. Another guy in my weight class, Patrick Crumpton. He's pretty good. Helps me out pretty good. We got a lot of smaller guys. We got the guy's name Chris Ocon. He's pretty good, 135. Um,
Okay.
pretty much it. So we got a good team, good solid team, man.
I saw you train with Edward Massey too. I know he's had a couple
Oh yeah,
really.
Ninja. I forgot he's over there. Yeah, he's new. He's been there for
Okay.
about a couple months now, so he's pretty good. He helps me out because uh, it's not a lot of southpaws. So since he's a southpaw, it's good to work with him.
Okay, got you. Yeah, no, I saw he has like, he has some really impressive wins on his resume himself. Like he's a pretty legit guy himself. So I thought that might have been, one of the guys you might get some work in with because I feel like he's like pretty close to your level.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. He has some good striking, man. He
hmm
did K1 and all that, so he's pretty good too.
Yeah, he has some quick
We got him out,
knockouts.
man. Yeah, for sure.
So I wanted to talk about your last fight. You took on Angel Alvarez, who, if I'm not mistaken, was training out of Kill Cliff in Florida, and really big gym, big name, upcoming
Yeah,
guy, 6-1. So you landed a big left hand in that fight and kind of put him down. And then you threw a couple strikes for like ground and pound, and you ended up just immediately kind of securing the neck, getting the rear naked choke nice and quick. I did want to ask if that's something you train in the gym, like dropping someone and then kind of transitioning immediately into a submission, or is that something that kind of just came up off the top and you just had to like take advantage of it?
Um, yeah, we'll train those scenarios,
hmm
man. Just it might not necessarily be I drop them. Maybe I take them down and we go to our favorite submission or something like that. But I just wasn't gonna let him. I was just gonna take any opportunity that he gave me, and I saw that he was hurt, so I just I just jumped on the first thing that seemed right to me. So
Okay. So I saw. Wait. Oh, continue.
Oh no, you good, you good, you good.
I was gonna ask. I don't know if you know, but I saw on Tapology they have that win ruled as a TKO. We got to get it changed to a submission, man. We got to get your record
Oh
accurate.
yeah, I didn't know. Yeah, that's a submission,
Uh
man.
huh.
Yeah, well, I need that submission notch on my belt.
Exactly. I was looking at it and I was like,
I
it
didn't
says
know that.
I was like, it says TKO, and I'm looking at your Instagram and you pretty clearly choked the guy out, and I was like,
Yeah, I think, yeah.
and then I went back and watched the fight, and I was like, nah, that's definitely a submission. So I
All right,
definitely
man.
got to get that changed when we can for you, seriously, because I want your record to
Okay.
be nice and accurate.
Yeah, I would like that too, because some guys, it'll say one thing, but it didn't actually happen on,
Exactly.
records. Yeah, for sure.
I saw you.
Misleading.
I saw you fought in Alaska FC for a bit. I wanted to ask what it was like fighting out there. Were you born in Alaska? Did you kind of like live there for a bit, or how did you come for fighting to Alaska FC?
Well, I was in the Air Force up there, um, and I would train after work. And I wanted to fight, so yeah, that's how I got on up there. I was in Alaska for 3 years, so
Okay.
as soon as I got there, I dropped out the gym and trained out there. Trained at this place called Anchorage Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. We had an old veteran on the Ultimate Fighter. His name was Nick Heron Webb. He was on the Shane Carwin, Roy Nelson.
Okay.
And I trained with him a lot. He helped me out. But yeah, I was in the military. I always wanted to fight, so I started up there.
Yeah. So
And,
how did you kind of like get into fighting? I know it was like you were in the Air Force. I saw that, and then it seems like you kind of just left the Air Force and just started going ham on training and just kind of put all your focus into that. So I kind of wanted to ask what your start in MMA was, how'd you find out about it, and like just what made you pursue it as a career?
I always wanted to train or be a prize fighter, man. It's in my blood, man. Really. I always wanted to do it ever since I watched some Ultimate Fighter or some Pride fighting. Uh, I was like, man, these guys are crazy. I always wanted to do that, and fight and make money. So I just kept pursuing it, kept pursuing it. And the one thing I didn't know is that it's hard to make money while you're training because you have to do a lot of training and you don't get paid that good in the
Yep.
beginning. But you just stuck to it. And yeah, I always wanted to do it. So I'm just trying to fulfill one of my dreams, man.
Yeah, you got to chase your dreams in this sport. You got to be happy with what you do because sadly, like you said, there's not too much money in it, especially in when you're first coming up, when you're first starting out. It's just it's pretty rough. So I just want to, it's good to hear that you have the passion for it and that's why you're doing
Yeah,
it because you need to have the passion. If you don't have the passion, you're going to get sick of it really quick because you're just not going to be making that return on it the way you might thought you would have.
yeah, that's true for sure.
So you're on a 5-fight winning streak right now, and it's been, mostly finishes. I mean, you're mostly knocking these dudes out. I know you have the submission in your last fight, but you've been putting it on dudes lately. I just wanted to ask if there was a change in your career because you were on a 3-fight losing streak prior to this 5-fight winning streak. Was there any change? Maybe you started to take fighting more seriously. Maybe you switched gyms. I just wanted to ask what you kind of attribute this newfound success to.
Yeah, I would just probably contributed to switching gyms, man. Ever since I got over to Nashville MMA, it's just more structured and a lot more classes that I can take. So
Okay.
naturally, as people workload, I'll get better over time. So it's
Yeah.
just all been coming together, man. Because it's just it's more. Uh, how do I say? It's more. There's more better competition and all that. So
Yeah, you're training with a higher level of guys, so it
I
kind
need
of
the higher
it levels
level.
you up in a sense too.
Exactly.
Okay.
Um,
So you
that's what I would contribute it to.
okay, so you were in the Air Force, right? So I
Right.
wanted to ask if like that kind of discipline and that kind of like routining, like I don't know how to like perfectly explain it, but obviously you have to be disciplined when you're in something like the Air Force. Do you think that
Yeah.
transitions well over to MMA, and is it something that's kind of helped you like make your career easier in a sense because you were already such a disciplined guy before you were an MMA fighter?
I guess so, huh? Yeah, because it helps you. The military helps you be on a schedule, and no matter how you're feeling, you're just gonna keep that schedule and not be inconsistent. It's all about consistency. Because the more consistent you are, the faster you're gonna learn something. In my opinion, so
Yeah,
I guess
definitely.
it helped out. It helps out because some days I don't feel like going to the gym, and once I get there, it's just not a big deal. After that, it's just like the anticipation of it. But yeah, I think it helps. It helped me out a little bit. I never thought of it, but yeah, it helps. It helps out for
Good,
sure.
good. I'm glad I helped you realize that because seriously, that was one of my first thoughts. Was like, damn, this guy was in the Air Force. Like he is like probably like one like sticks to his routine, like discipline. Like
Yeah.
I thought that probably was something that that like improved your career as an MMA fighter. I know Benoit Saint Denis, who fought this past weekend, he was in the
Oh
French
yeah.
military and everything. So definitely like, you know, definitely some examples of guys in the military just like I don't know, having that like killer instinct to them in a sense and just having
Right.
that discipline. So I think
It definitely.
it's very
Yeah.
invaluable.
It definitely helps, but it's not the win all be all.
No, no.
Sure.
So you had a 3-year layoff right before your winning streak. I wanted to ask kind of what was the reasoning behind that layoff? Did you maybe have like, you know, something going on in your personal life? Did you just kind of fall out of love with the sport? Like what was the reasoning behind that the long layoff before your winning streak?
That's probably about the time I switched gyms.
Okay.
I switched. I used to go to this gym called Swift Kick
Okay.
down here in Nashville, and then I went to the transition over to Nashville MMA, and that's where Coach Dorian Price was the head coach at that time. And I just wanted to just train, and I didn't want to jump back into the fight game too early. I just wanted to just just learn, do a lot of learning, see where I was going wrong at, and then I came back.
Okay.
But I was training the whole time. So,
Okay, got you. Yeah. So you were never technically like out of competition fully, but you were just, you know, you were just working on yourself behind the scenes, making sure
yeah, yeah.
you got what you needed done to make sure that you could go on a 5 fight winning streak like you are now. I mean, get a big fight like Luis Pena. I mean, do you feel like this fight kind of puts you a win here kind of puts you in position to potentially get a call for the contender series, potentially get a call for the UFC in general, just like anything like that?
Yeah, most definitely. They keep telling me after like this is gonna be the one that sets you over the top. So I I've heard that a lot these past couple of fights, but I think this will push me over to the edge, like get a good victory, and show my skills,
Oh yeah.
and really bring it to them. So I'm hoping, more wins, bigger paydays.
Hell yeah. So
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
wanted to ask, how long have you been in Nashville? I know, like we talked about, you were in Alaska, but how long have you been in Nashville now? And is this where you were kind of like, is this where you grew up?
No, I didn't grow up here, but
Okay,
I did. I grew up I grew up here, but I was born in.
okay,
I moved to Nashville when I was like 10 or 8, so I've been here pretty much all my life.
got you. Okay,
I went to the military 2010, and then I just did a 6-year tour and then got out, and then I came back here. So
okay, nice.
I'm Nashvilleian.
Did you like the Air Force? Was that like something that you enjoyed, or was it kind of like was it tough? Like I don't know.
Um,
It's like a weird thing. Like it's the military, so I don't know. Did you enjoy it?
did I enjoy? I enjoyed parts of it.
Okay.
Yes, other parts I did not enjoy. It's not for everybody, as they say. But I just wanted to just serve my country. Just 6 years, most people do their 20, but I didn't want to do this.
Yeah.
I'm,
Okay.
I'm just gonna do 6 years and just call that that. So,
All right. Yeah. Get in. Do your time and then get out. Kind of like jail in a sense, but a better version
uh,
of it.
right, little better version. At least you get paid.
Yeah. Exactly. So you talked about Anderson Silva, Jose Aldo, some of those legends of the sport as like some of the guys that are your inspirations. I kind of wanted to ask, are there any other guys that come to mind when you think of like some of the guys that really got you into the sport and like are guys you still look up to this day?
Yeah, man. I forgot. I don't know why I forgot this name off my Mount Rushmore, but Fedor
Okay.
Emilianenko. That was like one of my favorite heavyweights back in the day, and he still fought like maybe a couple years ago.
Yeah, like 2 years ago.
Fought Chael Sonnen and starched him.
Mm-hmm.
But he was almost one of my favorite fighters because he was just so well rounded. Yeah, good striking, good jujitsu, good wrestling. You know, he was also one of my favorite fighters, one of my favorite heavyweight fighters
Got you.
of all time, man. So, because he'll start slow, just moving, and he'll just explode into a shot and,
Mm-hmm.
and end up hurting somebody. I really enjoyed him. Yeah, I guess, yeah, him for sure.
Okay. I actually had the opportunity to meet Fedor when I was in South Dakota back in August, and when I tell you that is an intimidating man, like
Yeah,
he is still like to this day a very scary and intimidating man. Like I shook his hand and I was like, before I shook his hand, I had to ask myself like, am I gonna walk up to him? Like, am I gonna try to talk to him? Like, it was one of those things
right.
where it's like he has
Yeah,
that aura around him, and like he walks around with his like all of his Russian proteges, all the big massive like dudes in Bellator and the UFC, like all these great fighters, and it's like it's intimidating in a sense. But then you talk to him, and he's a really cool guy. He's
really
very
cool
willing to
guy.
talk to people. Yeah,
He speaks English.
not perfectly, but he understands
Oh,
it to the point
gosh.
where you could like just say what's up, and he'll understand what you're
Oh,
trying to
okay.
say.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he was one of my favorite fighters.
Yeah, me too. So you fought on a card in I'm pretty sure it was Aries 2 fights ago, where Fumi Nakuda and Torres Finney were also on the card. Fumi is one of the better flyweight prospects in the sport right now, and Torres was on the Dana White Contender Series this past season,
Yeah.
picked up a really big win. I wanted to ask if it means anything to you that you're fighting on cards with such high level guys. Do you think it like puts more eyes on you and potentially like could give you a better chance when guys that you fought on the same card as are performing very well as well?
Um, yeah, I guess so. But I really when I'm uh getting ready for a fight, I really don't think about none of that.
Yeah.
I don't even get to watch any of their fights. Well, I don't watch them because I'm just so focused trying to get ready for my fight. But I think that's a good thing, because it just elevates me because it'll put more eyeballs if they're popular, and I can make get some of their fans or something.
Yeah,
Then
for
they
sure.
see me, and then vice versa for them too.
Hmm.
They're like, "Who is this guy?" And then we all go put on a good performance, and they just start following us and seeing how our career goes. You know,
Yeah,
so
for
I do
sure.
think so. Yeah.
Speaking of like following guys and seeing how their career goes, I know you fought guys like Zach Zane, Jonathan Pierce, Terrence McKinney. Those are your three losses. I know, but they're all very good fighters. Like none of your losses are anything to hang your head over. They're very solid guys. Do you take pride in knowing that your level of competition has been tough and that you'll probably be more ready for like the big show once you get there because you've already kind of fought some very tough guys?
Uh, yeah. I wish it was a little easier to be honest with you.
Let's keeping it
Yeah,
real.
it's just part of the game, man. Because you can't know everything. You don't know. I have to. These are the trials and tribulations I have to go through
Hmm.
to get to the level that I want to get to. And I know if we ever fight again, it'll be completely different. So,
Are those guys like
oh,
still guys you like follow in terms of like looking at their careers now? Like do you keep up with their UFC careers at all or anything?
yeah, I watch their fights.
Nice.
I do know that Zane. I don't know if he fights anymore, but I know he could do slap boxing. I thought that was kind of funny. I could the slap fighting thing.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
could. I don't think I could do that, man. I can't just get slapped and not move or dodge it.
well, you don't want to get slapped up for like 1 in 1K.
No, I
one
don't
K to
think
show,
so.
1K to win. You don't want to get slapped up for that.
No,
Yeah,
not really.
yeah. I've heard the pay is pretty tough on those, unless you're a
Is it?
big name. I've heard the pay is a little bit rough, so I think it's I don't think it's a great idea to go and get slapped for free, basically.
Right. That might be worse than bare knuckle boxing.
It
My
probably
God.
is.
Yeah.
I've heard
Because you're guaranteed to take damage in slap
for
fighters.
sure. No, I've heard bare knuckle pays better than that for sure.
Oh yeah.
I've
I've
heard it
heard
pays better. Yeah.
yeah.
So you're out
I'm
in
thinking.
so you're out in Tennessee. I don't know how close you are to law school MMA. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but do you cross train at any of the local gyms? Do you know any of the guys from law school? I know they're kind of a surging gym out in Tennessee right now.
What's that, Memphis? Right?
Yes, yes.
No, I haven't. I haven't cross trained with them, man. I know they do have that one guy. Was it Danny
Danny Barlow, left hand to
Barlow? Yeah,
God.
yeah. Left-handed guy. I remember meeting him. Well, I didn't meet him, but he came to the gym one time back when
Okay.
I first started Nashville MMA, but I didn't train with him or anything. No, not lately. I have not been doing any cross training, but I've been getting the itch to just to get some more guys my size and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
That's something I'll probably do here this year after this fight or something.
Gotcha.
Try
Okay.
to get around with some other guys.
I think it'd be a good idea just because I know a lot of fighters now that cross train and they've only had great things to say about, going and just getting those different looks from other people and stuff. And I think it's something that any fighter can benefit from. Whether you're a champion or whether you're a guy on the regional scene, whether you're an amateur. I mean, I think everyone can benefit from just getting those different looks from different guys across the country, different training
Yeah,
styles
for
and
sure.
everything.
Yeah, for sure.
So we're gonna get into my funny segment here real quick.
Oh,
I got a couple funny questions for you, I guess. So I wanted to ask, what did you do in Alaska? Like, what is there to do in Alaska? Like, what were you doing on a daily basis? Obviously, you were in the Air Force, but like in your free time, like what were you doing out there?
in my free time, I was snowboarding and doing drinking, snowboarding and drinking.
That's it. That's all you could do.
Hiking. You were hiking. You get to hiking and eating good moose meat.
Okay. Moose meat. Interesting.
Yeah,
So
a lot of monsters up there.
So now I have to ask, my next question was, do you prefer Nashville hot chicken or Nashville barbecue ribs? But do you like moose meat better than both of those? Or come on, like what's the situation there?
Oh well, I mean, no, I like Nashville hot chicken has a special place.
Okay.
So we got.
So
But I like a good moose burger or some moose chili.
Interesting, man. I've never heard of that. It sounds all right, actually. It doesn't sound too bad, but I've just never heard of it.
Well, we don't have any moose here. If you know.
Well, yeah.
So it's hard to get the meat.
Okay.
Unless you're more guys.
So you said out in Alaska you were drinking. I wanted to ask: are you still a fan of that Douce, or like what do you be sipping on now? What's your drink of choice?
You say, just some Jack Daniels, man. That's fine.
My guy.
Yeah. Just keeping it real basic. Just little Jack Daniels and Sprite.
Okay, Jack Daniels and Sprite. Okay, I'm more of a Jack and Coke guy, but I like a Jack and Sprite every once in a while too. It's definitely not.
Well, if it's too late, if it's like late, I don't want to drink no caffeine.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd go to some Sprite.
Gotcha. All right. And then last question. This is a more serious question. That's it for my funny question segment. Okay, I just wanted to ask, with a win here, we talked about you wanting to, go to that next level. Does it have to be the UFC for you, or are you okay with maybe going to fight for a PFL or just a bigger regional promotion maybe? Like are you set on the UFC for sure, or are you open to whatever comes your way?
No, man, it doesn't have to only be UFC. I'll fight anywhere, honestly. PFL, I'm
Hmm.
a little iffy on that.
Okay.
They don't can't throw. I heard you can't throw elbows. Is that true?
Hmm. In the season format, you can't throw elbows
Oh,
because
geez.
they don't like people to get cut on their face, because then they can't fight like 2 months later when they're supposed to fight again.
Yeah. That's like my only like knock to them. It's like, man, I want to throw elbow. I've been training elbows, but I would still fight in PFL even if I could throw elbows.
So elbows are the deal breaker for you?
Yeah, that's just one of the deal breakers. Like if say I had to choose between like PFL or like one FC or something, I would be like, I'd go to one FC so I could throw elbows.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, definitely. It makes sense to me because if they're a big part of your game, if you're losing a big part of your offensive game if
Yeah,
you're giving
yeah.
that up, and then it's like, it like handicaps you in a sense, especially if you are always using them in the gym and are used to kind of throwing the combos with elbows at the beginning, at the end, in the middle, like whatever. If you throw these combos where you're used to throwing elbows, it kind of messes up your rhythm and stuff.
Right. It's like when Muay Thai boxers do like kickboxing or something.
Yep, exactly. You got that down right. All right.
Yeah,
Dedrick, that's it for me, man. I really appreciate this conversation. I mean, you're a fun guy to talk to. You got like an interesting story to you, like the whole Air Force. Just coming
yeah.
back from MMA after a tough run and now on a 5-fight winning streak. Just you've been making some big moves these past couple of years, and I know you said you've been getting told this for a bit, but I really think your shot might come if you take out Luis Pena in dominant fashion. I could really see you finally getting that shot, finally getting that chance, because I mean, it'd be a big win on your resume, especially because Alvarez was a big win on your resume. So I feel like back to back big wins like that, someone's got to take notice for sure.
Right, right.
Yeah, for sure.
Appreciate it, man.
Of course, I appreciate the conversation, man. Everyone, go watch Dedrick Dedrick Break 'em Down Sanders on April 6th against Luis Pena, Aries Fighting Championship. Everyone, go show support, go show love, go watch that fight because Dedrick Sanders is about to put on a show.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.